There are more important things at stake with NATO, such as the role of Turkey in the alliance and how President Trump betrayed the Kurds by unilaterally pulling U.S. troops out of northern Syria. But being caught laughing about the U.S. president is not likely to help smooth the relationship. Our chief political correspondent, David Akin, is looking at what impact, if any, this could have on Canadian-U.S. relations. David.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to have a lot of impact right off the top. At least that's what diplomatic sources here and in Washington are telling me. For one thing, Trump, he really made up his mind about Trudeau after the 2018 G7 summit in Charlevoix. You remember, Donna, that Trump called Trudeau, quote, dishonest and weak. Number two, Trump needs to push that new NAFTA over the finish line in his election year, because that would be an important foreign policy win for him. And finally, as the Prime Minister himself said today in London, the Canada-U.S. relationship is much more than just the personal relationship between the country's two leaders.
And David, there are substantive issues facing NATO. The French president has called it brain dead and urged NATO members not to rely on the U.S. for leadership. Are we missing something by focusing so much on this cocktail party chatter?
Well, I think that's a great point, Donna, because NATO does have some very serious defense and security issues that it's trying to confront right now, not the least of which, as you mentioned, is the continuing threat of ISIS in northeastern Syria. Plus, we have an actual NATO ally, Turkey, acting as an aggressor there. And of course, Russia continues to be a major security threat in Europe, not just in Ukraine. But we also know that Russia is engaged right now in a very active information war in the Baltic region. It's been trying to discredit NATO there with a fake news campaign. And let's not forget that Canada, of course, is leading a NATO force right now in Latvia as a deterrent to future Russian aggression there. So these squabbles among the leaders, this cocktail party chatter that we're talking about, it really makes NATO's opponents, Russia's Vladimir Putin chief among them, it really makes them very happy. Donna?
All right, David Akin in Ottawa. Thanks.